Hey David, welcome to the stream. Thanks for being here again. Hey Philip. Well, thank you. I hope you're enjoying it. Yeah, I'm working my way through it. Still haven't done a 100% completion. I'm right at the end of my personal playthrough on Starfield, so kind of gotten ahead of where I am in the live stream, but once we finish up these few live streams of side quests here, then should be ending it fairly quickly. And then we'll put up a post and see if there are some games that y'all want me to play next. Got a list of stuff that I'll put up and let everybody choose from. Yeah, there'll be an option for y'all to obviously leave suggestions in the comments below the community post. I will put up a list based upon, well, one, games that I have or games that I'm interested to play. But then, yeah, y'all will obviously be able to give input and see. My genres are fairly limited. There won't be any, you know, COD Warzone or anything like that happening. But yeah, there's enough turn-based games and RPG games and a couple of different options for RTS games. I don't normally play a whole lot of those, but I have played Company of Heroes 2. I really enjoyed the first one and enjoy the second one as well. But yeah, I'll have options for all that when we get closer to the end of the Starfield stream. And one of those options will be another Baldur's Gate 3 stream. So... Hey, Alstomar, welcome. Welcome back. Yeah, I've gotten a lot of comments, David, from my friends that I need to be live streaming my honor mode playthrough. I don't really want to, but people seem to be very, very interested in honor mode, so I'm quite a ways into it. But I may, when we get down to that time in Starfield, I may either have started a new one or just restart that one, do another one if that's what the overwhelming choice is. I feel there's a lot of people, a lot of content creators who have already done honor mode live streams. I mean, I could be wrong. I see a lot of honor mode build guides and that sort of stuff, and how to beat specific encounters out of honor mode. But like I say, we'll see. There's going to be a bunch of options that y'all will be able to pick from. Yeah, I mean, there's two schools of thought about honor mode, David. There is the thought that you can skip most of the quote-unquote side encounters and just do the required boss encounters. The main issue that you run into is leveling, and that by the time you reach Act 3, you might be under-leveled for some of the encounters that you're going to get. However, there are... most of the Act 3 required encounters have some sort of... I hesitate to call it cheese, but there are combat mechanics that can make those encounters quite a bit easier, even if you're under-leveled. So, like I say, two schools of thought, and the second one is to do everything so that your chances of surviving any specific encounter that you're required to do in Act 3 are greater because you're at a higher level and have more abilities available to you. Two very different schools of thought about it. One is really just intent on getting the dice for, future playthroughs. The other one is more about pushing yourself to be able to really manage the different encounters, the legendary actions, and that sort of stuff, and to think proactively about them. Oh, I don't know. It's an interesting dichotomy between the two. Yeah, no, that's one of the main differences, Stamura, is that even now, all the way up through Act 2, I still don't use a lot of potions. I'm stockpiling them. That is a major thing that you have to do in honor mode. You do not have a choice. Without a stock of potions of invisibility, potions of speed, hill giant strength, all sorts of things like that, as well as the resistance, the elixir of various resistances. So fire, psychic damage especially, things like that. You're just not going to be able to make it through some of the encounters. You need to have those non-concentration based buffs that are there throughout a long rest. And what you really need to do is plan how to use those potions to the maximum benefit as well. So what I end up doing is clearing out all of the approaches to a major encounter, and then going, and before I do that major encounter, going and doing all the approaches to another major encounter, so that then I can take a long rest, I can bring everything back, I can buff up my party with all of my potions, and then hopefully I can do both major encounters utilizing the same set of potion buffs. So it's everyone's always said, and it can't be stressed enough, that honor mode is about resource management, both in your physical resources, like your potions, your scrolls, and that sort of stuff, as well as your action economy. Those two things are critical for honor mode. But one thing I would not be looking forward to in honor mode is redoing a bunch of the Act 1 and Act 2 encounters that have been buffed up here recently in the patch 6, after I've already passed them in my honor mode playthrough, my personal one. So we'll go ahead and get started. Welcome everyone to today's live stream, episode 28 of our Baldur's Gate 3 Paladin gameplay series. I'm Commander Jorval, and I want to thank you for coming along on our journey today. So, admin notes. A couple of the big ones this week are hotfixes 18 and 19 that were released by Larian. Patch 6 came out, and with every large patch, there's going to be some issues. The game is just too big to playtest every single aspect that those patches that large are going to impact. And Larian relies, like other publishers, they rely on the community to help them playtest that patch. They obviously do a lot of that testing themselves, but when you get millions of players, then playing through it at various different points through the game, their comments are invaluable to help you find those bugs and issues. One of them, the hotfix 18, was really brought in to fix one major issue, and we encountered it during our last week's live streams, in that vendors, when you entered into trade with them, they would initially show 0 gold for both you and the vendor, and the weapons and armor would populate, but the scrolls, potions, that sort of stuff would not populate, and it would take up to 10 seconds for those things to pop into the inventories. And that was because of a trading fix that Larian did to analyze and prevent some exploits that were still happening concerning inventories of items being taken from vendors. And in doing so, they kind of messed up a couple of flags and messed up some timing on how those checks were made and how they were done. So hotfix 18 was purely issued just to fix that issue, and a crash that was brought up because of those same behind-the-scenes checks with a couple of different vendors in the game. So they brought that out on the 20th, I believe. And then on the 22nd, they issued hotfix 19. And hotfix 19 was a little bit more expansive, but it also focused on some of the console issues. And then on the 23rd, they issued that same hotfix for the consoles. So what they did is redid some of the console multiplayer issues that had to do with invites, party invites, and stuff like that. They also fixed some of the issues that were brought up because of the change of trying to prioritize your main character, even when that character is not the closest one to an NPC that wants to initiate an automatic dialogue. So there was some issues in Joaquin's Rest with the Flaming Fist at the door, and with Counselor Floric initiating that conversation that they fixed. There was also some other issues that were brought into play with the group hide scenario, where if your party was grouped, you could click group hide and all of your party members and your followers would go into hiding. But they also forgot that if you ungroup the party members, it would still do that. And that would cause some issues where if you had one party member in combat and the rest of your party not, and you went to one of your party members that was not in combat and you clicked group hide, it would hide everybody, and it would use the character that was in combat. It would use their action and or their bonus action to hide while they were in combat. That could seriously mess up your action economy. So they fixed that as well. There's also going to be there were some changes implemented with Sorcerer meta magic. The whole Sorcerer, Warlock, Eldritch Blast, Spell Sniper meta build kind of ran into some problems with fixing meta magic and how it interacts with Eldritch Blast, and that was fixed after that was brought up. So Hotfix 19 was kind of some miscellaneous fixes based upon player input on the forums. And again, if you run into issues, I can't stress enough to go to the forums and post that issue. First, search and see if someone else has posted that issue, and then add your commentary to it if they have. But if they haven't, post it yourself. Larian has shown that they are incredibly responsive to the community, giving them feedback on their patches and hotfixes, and they do an amazing job of issuing hotfixes to correct those things as soon as the community brings it to their attention. So they listen, they respond very, very well, unlike some other AAA developers do when you get community feedback. Larian seems to jump on it immediately and start taking action on it. So because of that, feel confident that your feedback is getting read and acted upon. So please go help them out and help all of us out. If you find a bug or something wrong after a hotfix or a patch, go report it and make it better for everybody. So I think that's it for the admin notes. So on our recap, last week we had spent almost the entire live stream working through the content inside Moonrise Towers. Like I said, there's a lot there, and I kind of underestimated how much of it there was. And today we are going to finish up with a couple of small combat encounters on the first floor of Moonrise Towers combat that you can initiate and finish without angering the rest of the tower. And then we will move out toward the Grand Mausoleum and start working our way through that and see how far we get. The Grand Mausoleum contains the Gauntlet of Shar and is the main conclusion to Shadowheart's storyline. So we'll jump in here real quick and finish up the Moonrise Towers. Now, this is the first floor. Here in America, we would call this the second floor of Moonrise Towers. But in the rest of the world, the first floor is what they call the ground floor. And what we in America call the second floor, they call the first floor. So you'll see this listed as the first floor of Moonrise Towers, the one that we're on. In America, you're used to seeing this as the second floor, but this is upstairs from the main floor. And you can see here we have a scrying eye and we have a zealot through this door. We also have some necromites that are outside here. I have never seen them enter into combat here based upon this. However, you can get other people entering if the scrying eye calls for reinforcements, which it almost invariably will. But we are going to put everybody in hiding. We're going to break the group here, and we are going to have Astarion open this, or lockpick this door here.
Quick and quiet.
And now before he goes in there, I'm going to
Time to press ahead.
move everybody
Let's
back
try
a
this
little
way.
bit.
Such an undignified position to find oneself in. Now.
This is a restricted area. Time to explain yourself, or this guard will be restricting you to a cell.
They won't see me coming.
Okay, so I definitely wanted to get rid of the scrying eye there. So once you enter into this area, you are going to be, seen and caught. And since it is a red door that we walk through, it's a restricted area, and you're going to be engaged in combat. Now you can see that there are a couple of zealots, or a zealot and an adept above me that are going to be making their way down here. There's also a scrying eye that is above me that sometimes can make its way down here into the combat. So we'll kind of take this one at a time here and see how it goes. So we're gonna move in here
This way. Time to push my luck
with
again.
Astarion.
What path lies before me? Surprised you spotted me.
Okay, we are definitely going to drop a darkness here.
With haste. I can't even catch
And
my
now we
breath.
can kick things off here. Okay. Starting off well.
Time to kill.
Okay, I'm going to leave darkness active.
There is work to do. No time for Danny.
Excellent choice. Forthwith. Shouldn't have wished to live in.
There better be a soft bedroll in my near future. Go.
Okay, so looks like we managed to do that without bringing the other two from downstairs up here. And that's perfectly
Still
fine.
breathing, despite everything.
So let's just go walking around with Astarion though, just to make sure. that we haven't done that. So here, this is the door into Balthazar's chamber. Wow, failed it. Got an inspiration here. You failed again. Let's fail it a third time. Failed again. Oh, wow. Okay. How about...
I wonder what the next move is. This way.
Wow. That's incredible.
A crooked touch.
Okay, so we've definitely been in Balthazar's room before. Nothing new here about this area.
Which way to the nearest
That's
library?
a little strange. Is that just a rendering bug?
Step by step.
Yeah, it's just a rendering bug. Alright, so everything else up here we've already explored. This is the door that's going to lead us back out into the main hallway. We don't want to exit that way, though. If we're going to exit again, we're going to exit from Balthazar's room out here. But we don't have to do any of that. We've now explored the entire second floor here of this. So we have gone into... into Ketheric's chamber here. We're not going to explore it yet. We're not going to loot it yet because of his pet that is in here is not going to take kindly to us looting anything. So we'll be coming back to this room a bit later. So for now, we're going to group everybody up and we are going to head up to the Grand Mausoleum. And let's just take a look at our quest guide and see if there's anything else that we haven't gotten. So yes, Zarel told us to go find Balthazar, so the Punish the Wicked quest is not finished. So let's go turn that in. Okay, so yes, we found all of this. Let's go turn in the quest to He Who Was. And for that, we're going to go to the Last Light Inn.
Breathe deep and move.
Okay, wait a minute. Let's not go out there.
Donkey ding! You ruin everything! Anything you want to say? Anytime, babe.
Okay, so now we have the Pixie Blessing. Make sure our packed weapon is bound. It is. And we'll head up here to He Who Was and turn this journal in. Hey, Phenom, welcome to the stream. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. So let's go talk to He Who Was here.
I should speak up.
The air stirs in trepidation. You have the ledger. To punish a murderer. If that is not enough, leave. I have no time for those lacking commitment. We have it. Her lies, her guilt. Madeline reported her friends to a dark justiciar and fled when they were butchered. Well, she flees no more. I will be the conduit for Madeline's spirit. I will force her to face trial, and you will be the judge. Make her beg. Make her suffer. The Raven was right. We were fated to meet. Break her, my friend. Most thoroughly. Witness.
You said I was gonna be punished. That you'd be the judge. But I didn't mean to hurt anyone. I said it didn't mean nothing. That Ben and Mark were just drunk and whining. The Dark Justiciar promised she was gonna chat with him. She promised! She gave him a dagger each. And told him to press it against their stomachs on the count of 3. To start stabbing. And not stop till she said so. She never said stop. I'd do anything to take it back. Anything.
Okay, so we have some persuasion options here. They're all the same as far as my Paladin's concerned. Okay, so the only way I can fail this is with a nat 1. Okay, hopefully we've gotten the nat 1s out of our system.
Like this? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Okay, it's a higher DC and I've lost favorable beginnings. So now I'll add in guidance to compensate.
I'm sorry.
You vile sadist! What have you done to me? Not to the point of killing this body! You will join me in the darkness of oblivion! You treacherous insect!
Okay, so again, I wanted to show you a different way to play this out compared to the Bard playthrough. So he was being possessed by her, he was being a conduit for her. So in telling her to stab herself, we were stabbing He Who Was. Now, examining him, he's got the Burden of Time aura. So, beasts and humanoids have disadvantage on saving throws while within 3 meters of this creature. Elves are unaffected by this temporal magic. He also has extra attack. He's got Misty Presence. So after taking this damage, this creature may turn invisible. So our see invisibility eye is going to come into play here. That's a reaction, and he only has 1 of those per turn. It also has Fey Ancestry, so he's not going to be able to be charmed or put to sleep. And you're also fighting against Quoth the Raven here, which is just a standard Raven, but again can blind you and that sort of stuff. So we're going to move up here with Astarion.
With finesse.
Okay, and we're going to try and get rid of the Raven first. Okay, that will end that. Going to use our bonus action here to get the happy effect. Now we can do our offhand attack here. And we will use our Dread Ambusher as well. Okay, so we'll give him his turn.
You have been judged.
Okay, so an opportunity attack here. Okay, so he's casting Fear, which is not great.
I speak, they burn.
So Gale still has several level 3s left, so we'll counterspell that. We'll also give him Psionic Backlash. And that was a good roll for Psionic Backlash as well. And now we can probably just end this here.
Never a dull moment.
Okay. So now we can search He Who Was. So the Queen was clear a full retreat to the Shadowfell with all due haste. Ye behold the fate of Lover's Whisper. So the Queen was incensed at the loss of her child and struck Lover's Whisper down, as was her right. Return at once, or I will be forced to report your desertion of thine will. The Queen that's being referenced here and retreat to the Shadowfell, we're going to learn more about as we progress through this. Especially through the area that we were going to. Okay, we can search Madeline here for some camp supplies. Some gold. We can search the Raven. Nothing here. So what the difference, the main difference here is, and we can pick up Madeline's ledger again. The main difference is that we do not get the ring to summon Quoth the Raven here. Okay, it's not a big deal for me. I don't really care about Quoth the Raven anyway. Quite frankly, he's not fun to be around, or she's not fun to be around. So that's, but I wanted to play this out a different way. The choices that you make there are going to influence how this encounter goes. You can also...
Corpse does not stir. It will answer
Okay, so we've already
no
asked her
questions.
questions. But that will
All right.
get
Now,
the recasting of Speak with the Dead active again. So
Need to find a way forward.
So that should have finished up Punish the Wicked. It did. So now we're going to head up to the Grand Mausoleum. And we will head inside.
Better not be cursed.
Now, the first thing you notice when you get in here is you get a new status effect, the Glutted Catacombs. And so this area is filled with the bones of the undead. The spell Animate Dead Skeleton does not require a skeleton to raise the dead in this area. So if you want to get your undead minions for you as your necromancy caster or as your Oathbreaker Paladin, feel free to do that in here because you don't need a skeleton to be able to do it. There are a bunch of skeletons lying around in here, but you don't need one now to be able to cast that spell. Okay, so doing a little walking around here. Okay, so nothing here. We'll head up to the gates, and we're going to have Shadowheart cast guidance on my Paladin.
Let's get going. Light on my feet.
Me, Cyril, Minthara, whoever you are, leave. I shall carry out General Form's will alone.
Okay, so that advances the relic, and we have the Herald of Balthazar here.
Not needed. Leave.
And we're going to continue exploring around to each side.
Everywhere. Someone's been engaging in dark rituals here.
Okay, and that someone is definitely Balthazar.
What's next?
Never a dull moment.
Okay, now up here we have a skeleton that we can search. We also have a backpack that's hidden behind here. Scroll of protection from energy, and it also has the frosted ear and the yellow musk creeper petals, which are important for the potion of superior healing recipe. There's also the Diary of Ketheric Thorm, Volume 2, over here. Can read this. Finds out that Balthazar is his only source of comfort here, and Balthazar is working on a way to bring somebody back for him. And we're going to learn a lot more about this as we go through the rest of the catacombs here. Okay, we have some bone sculptures.
Ketheric Thorm's forebears. He defiled their remains to make this effigy. But to what end?
Okay, there are some urns in here. We will
Whatever
cast
comes.
guidance again. And we'll head to the other side.
Yeah, not as bad as it could have.
On the way, there's Diary of Ketheric Thorm Volume 1 here. Okay, so the Moon Maiden cannot be so unfeeling, so cruel, not after Melodia. Melodia, we learned while we were exploring Moonrise Towers, was Ketheric's wife. After she died, he had issues with Selûne and switched his allegiance to Shar. And he's trying to work out the fact that he seems unfulfilled about the entire thing, even after changing his allegiance. And it's kind of driving him into a bit of madness.
Here goes nothing.
Here lies Melodia Thorm, beloved wife and mother. E Amiel Telere Manon here.
Okay, so here you can see this is Melodia's tomb.
Let's get on with it.
These things have stayed interesting. That's the symbol of Merkel.
Okay. So we passed a religion check here. And here's Diary of Ketheric Volume 3. So Melodia would understand if she knew my aim. She too, I believe, would have turned to Merkel under such conditions as these. Our darling will live again. So now you can see that he's forsaken Shar and turned to Merkel instead. We learned a little bit about Merkel and the three gods, Baal, Merkel, and geez, why can't I think of the third? The god of death, the god of murder, and now I can't remember the third one. We learned a little bit about them a long time ago in Act 1. And he's now turned to Merkel for his salvation to try and bring his dead wife back. So here you're always going to have some really decent scrolls, including some fairly high power scrolls like the Scroll of Cloudkill. So we're going to have Gale take a look at these here in a minute. Okay, we definitely want, well, we'll have Astarion
With pleasure.
lockpick this. Okay, so we're tempting fate here again. Okay. Bane, that's the other one. Thanks, Ustamura. Okay, and in here you're going to have the Vivacious Cloak. So the Vivacious Cloak is you gain 8 temporary hit points after casting a spell while in melee. A very interesting cloak in how that it works, and we're going to explore some more of that. We also get some good crafting supplies and a potion of invisibility, which is great. So for our cloak here, for now, okay, we'll equip this on Gale for now, and we'll see a little bit more about that as we go through this. But it can be a very, very useful cloak.
I'm ready.
Still alive, so that's progress.
Okay, General Thorm's orders were clear. One must walk in his footsteps, deed by deed, from splendor to tragedy to infamy, as he put it. B is for Balthazar. And we're going to be exploring much more of that here. Not this live stream, I don't think, but certainly as we go through this. There's simply too much content to go through here. In the short amount of time that we have together today. Okay, so there it is. Couldn't remember where it was. Okay, so the Arrow of Arcane Interference is a great arrow to have for Astarion, to be able to silence spellcasters at range.
I'll take that.
And now we're going to get ready to head up here.
Is that blood? No, never mind.
Okay, there's a map here. So, intact wing, proving grounds, question mark, ruined wing, something present there, strange sounds reported, and rats. Why so many rats? All three of those things are going to become important. The proving grounds is the Gauntlet of Shar. The ruined wing, we are going to go into and have an encounter there. That is where Raphael's side quest is going to complete. And the rats quest we are also going to encounter in that area, or the rats encounter.
This place, and something deadly sealed inside it. Don't waste a step.
Okay, over here we have a skeleton in the open crypt. Nothing.
There's no time to waste.
And we want to cast guidance again. We're actually going to break our group now.
My mind and, well, in it. An open tomb. Empty. Not ominous.
Okay, so failed his perception check here.
Shar's presence is near.
So, okay.
My faith will guide me. Onward. Ever onward. Best
Okay.
avoid that trap. Best avoid that trap.
So, now we've explored a little bit. We'll bring Astarion in here.
Subtle steps.
And we'll disarm this marble plate. Okay, then we'll go back to...
Trap.
Okay. Then we'll have Astarion move up and again disarm this plate.
A long way to
And
go
we'll
still.
continue on the searching here with Shadowheart, just moving forward slowly.
Trap.
Okay, we'll bring Astarion up here.
Watch your back. Watch the shadows.
I'm ready. Whatever it takes. Looks like a trap there.
Well, hello.
And rinse and repeat here.
My faith protects me. A trap. A trap.
How
Looks like a trap there.
Okay, so now I believe...
On I go. Thought my luck had run out for a moment. Trap must be disarmed.
Okay, I missed one. There are situations, Phenom, where Astarion can make stuff incredibly easy.
No one back home will
So
ever believe
yes,
this.
there are times when he can be very useful. I'm kind of showcasing him a little bit in this playthrough compared to the Bard one. So we're going to click on this plaque here.
Susun Elg Oloth.
Okay, and now we're going to go through and we're going to look
Isabel's
at...
sarcophagus before Ketheric brought her back.
Okay, so that was an important line there. This is Isabel's sarcophagus. Isabel, we met at the Last Light Inn. So Ketheric brought her back from the dead, and she escaped from him, and as a loyal cleric of Selûne was holed up at the Last Light Inn trying to fend off the Shadow Curse. Then when Marcus attacked and she was captured, we haven't seen anything of her yet. We're going to learn more about that as we continue on through this, but Isabel is Ketheric's daughter. We met the rest of Ketheric's family and had various encounters with them in the town. So we've now learned that Ketheric raised all of his children in one form or another, or kept them alive through various means in the form of some of the others.
No time to rest.
And has been practicing necromancy with Balthazar. Okay, so you can, and I don't know if I can turn that off.
Might not be the time.
Okay. So here, remember the stained book. In order to find what lies beyond this mausoleum, one must walk in his own footsteps, deed by deed, from splendor to tragedy to infamy, as he put it. Okay, now I accidentally clicked on grief here first.
Can't slow down.
So I've got a problem.
That bright tower. It's Moonrise. Or it used to be.
Okay, so you can read these.
Ketheric Thorm leading Shar's forces. Quite the about face for a warrior of Selûne.
Okay. So remember, from splendor to tragedy to infamy. Okay. So the splendor is
That bright tower. It's Moonrise.
Moonrise Towers. So from splendor to tragedy, which is grief.
Ketheric Thorm, bowed by grief for his daughter.
To infamy, which is general. So that's the order in which to trigger these. Now I accidentally clicked on this one here, so
What a day.
I am probably going to need to go disarm all of this. And we'll just speed through this. I'm probably, just by numbers, bound to roll a nat 1 somewhere in here.
Shall we?
Okay, so we're halfway around here. There it is. Have to use an inspiration to re-roll that. Okay, and I think that's it. But to be safe, we're gonna move everybody else out.
Yes?
What's next, I wonder?
Careful, I bite. Very well then. Over there.
Okay. And that's going to reset everything, and it will trigger the trap if you haven't disarmed everything like we have. So now we're going to go do it in the right order. So from glory, or whatever it was, to tragedy, to infamy. And that's going to get our inspiration back. Okay, and here we can do some quick explorations in here. We've got some skeletons that we can search. There's also a plaque here we can read. No, that's on the other side.
That disc must be the way forward.
Bring us there.
Some really good crafting supplies here, especially with the Nothic Eye. Okay, and now we can make our way down here, and there's a transversal gem here. And before we go, we're just going to take a look at our updates to this quest. So we uncovered a secret passage inside the mausoleum. Balthazar must be inside. And that is true. We are going to be meeting up with him. So let's click the gem here. Okay, and now we are inside of the Gauntlet of Shar. So here, you definitely want to have Shadowheart with you. This is going to be how we conclude her section of her personal quest line. So this updated the Night Song quest. The Night Song must be within. It also updated the Chosen of Shar. So we must be drawing close to the place that Shadowheart wishes to find. And we discovered the Gauntlet of Shar. Shadowheart will surely want to investigate this. They update these quests to give you a big hint that you really should bring Shadowheart along with you for this section of the game.
The Gauntlet of Shar. Before my very eyes. The Dark Lady guided me here. She wanted me to find this place.
No one stopped me yet.
Again, as usual, when we're exploring new places, we're going to be moving in short bursts. Skeleton up here that we can search. Okay, over here. Actually, I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, can't reach any of this space over here. On this side, you can see on your map, there's nothing there.
Best be on my way.
Now we'll head over to the other side. Okay, and nothing that you can get to over here. And now if you look at our map, you can see that we have a quest marker out there for Find Balthazar. Way out here. So you can start to see that the Gauntlet is a large area inside of here. There's a lot to do and explore in here. And there's kind of an order to do it in, but you can feel free to do it however you'd like.
Shar,
up to a certain point.
Singer of eternal night, protector of the lost and forgotten. Cross from light into darkness. Give your life to the shadows.
Okay, all of these plaques are giving you important clues as to how the Gauntlet's going to work. Remember what Shar is. She is the goddess of shadows and the night.
Embrace. Hear the night song.
Okay, and that's going to become important on how you work your way through this. Okay, so we have some vases that we can search here. And we have another plaque.
The answer lies in darkness.
It can't be.
Okay, so you got a clue there. The answer lies in darkness. Okay, we're going to split our group here.
I wonder what the next move is.
Okay, you can see that we have traps in here. Okay, and something here is reacting to us in this area. And it said that the way is found in darkness. Okay.
Worth a shot.
Oops. Didn't want to click on that, but you can see that as we try and get close here to the center area, we are repulsed.
But that glowing ring I saw may show the way.
Okay.
I'll take this way. Quiet as a mouse.
Okay, we have a marble plate
Someone
here.
there? Watch your back.
Can't afford any mistakes.
Trap.
Okay, we have a lever over here. Okay, and if you hit the lever, you can see that it drops these thuribles down.
What to do?
And then you can turn them off. When they're up here, you saw that I couldn't reach them. But then when they are down here, you can access them
Whatever it takes.
and turn them off. And remember, the voice told us the way forward lies in darkness.
Looks like a trap there.
Trust no one.
Wits and blades, always sharp.
Looks like a trap there.
And again, here on this side, we have another lever.
I must keep going.
So I'm going to continue making my way around the outside here. I don't want to get too close to the center. I want to stay up here on the outskirts of this. You're just going to get repulsed. You're not going to get damaged at this point. But there's no point in having to do any of that. Okay, so we're going to bring Astarion around.
Step lightly. A trap. Someone doesn't like visitors.
And this is why, again, Astarion is very, very useful at this first stage of the Gauntlet, simply because of all of the traps that are here. Now, you can avoid all of these simply by jumping over them and that sort of stuff. So you don't necessarily have to have Astarion with you. However, he just makes it easy to pass all of these things. We'll go back over here and access this one that is now
Worth a
down.
try.
Keep your distance, darling.
And then one last corner here. And I really wish there was XP for
My faith
disarming
will guide
traps.
Try.
And one last lever here.
I must keep going.
Okay. And now that we've deactivated everything here,
Repulsed
okay,
again. But that glowing ring I saw may show the way.
did I miss one? Oh, wait a minute.
Repulsed again. But that glowing ring I saw may show the way.
Okay. So we're going to, yeah, we're not done with
These
this.
things have stayed interesting.
We're going to group everybody up.
Time to press ahead.
He's probably going to get repulsed. Nope, he made it.
Your desire? Onward.
Still alive, so that's progress. Can't risk being in open view.
I'm ready.
Now what? Stepping softly.
So did I want this side? I want this side first.
Maybe I should stay crouched forever.
If I have everybody grouped up, they're probably going to be repulsed a few times as I go through this.
Another step forward.
Be careful. There are traps about.
I need to concentrate.
The rain of night comes in 1,000 falling leaves.
Okay, there's a
I'll grab
chasm
that.
creeper over here that we can pick up.
On I go.
Okay. So no, it's not this side that I wanted. I was right, it's the other side. It's been a long time since I did this in my personal playthrough, so you'll have to forgive me for not realizing what I'm missing. Let's go here and try and move through here. Yeah. This is what I was missing.
Welcome, child. Follow my voice.
It's just I can walk through here. Once all of the lights are out, the two rings are going to show you the direction that you need to walk through each one of the rings to get into the center. Here. That's what I was missing.
Bit of caution never hurt.
And what that did was drop the enchantment around the stone door here.
What path lies before me? One day I'll catch a break.
Okay, now what we picked up was an umbral gem. And I'm going to keep all these on Shadowheart for now. Did we not pick that up? We didn't pick it up.
What do we have here?
Okay, I thought we got one from that. I guess we didn't.
Let's move. If not over, then through.
So where's... This is the other one that we went. Okay, so this opened up this door here. Okay, so inside this room here, we're going to have a couple of different things to explore here. So I'm going to kind of move everybody up here.
I was trying to concentrate. Stay low.
In darkness, beauty is equal and wealth unseen.
Okay, so a basic poison here. Okay, now around the back side of this, you can see that we have another path here. Okay, and this path is going to lead us into this room. Now, here inside this room, you can see we have a chest down here. We have a path that leads us down and around, and there's another door down here. And for this...
Wonder if the gods are watching me.
I'm going to see if I can pass the check here. See if he fails the save. not going to move everybody into that room yet. Whoops, I need
What's
to...
next, I wonder? Mustn't let anyone see.
And I'm going to slowly make my way around the top up here. Okay, so I failed the perception check.
Light on my feet.
I'll try it with Shadowheart.
Need to press onward. Unnoticed. Good. I see a way.
Move right up here to the edge, and we'll see if she can pass it. Okay, so she failed it as well. Not rolling really good there. We only needed a 10, I think, to pass that.
Hello, you. Not a sound.
I can't afford to fail.
Something smells tasty. Move unseen.
Everybody else is going to have a bit harder time.
I
Okay.
set a trap.
So Astarion did succeed on it. He rolled a 15, which was good. There's a cloaker here that is ambushing. If you move up here to the edge and pass the perception check, you can find it, and this allows you to initiate the combat here instead of the cloaker surprising you and getting a turn off without you being able to respond unless you have somebody with alert. So here we're going to go ahead and initiate the combat. You can examine the cloaker here. It does have multi-attack if the target is frightened, and that is something that it is going to be able to do here. So we definitely want to try and take it out on our first turn so that it does not get a chance to attack here. So in that, we're going to start it off with Astarion. Okay, I'm going to have him keep going. Until he fails a stealth check. Okay, so there he goes. So we've already taken off more than a third of the cloaker's hit points. Okay, and now we have our full set of actions to do here. Okay, so he's down to 18 hit points.
Can't waste any more time. These boots have seen everything.
Now you can see the cloaker's detection cone here. So it's something that'll happen when you move down here and you move around this area. As soon as you move in here, the cloaker will reveal itself if you haven't passed the perception checks. Perfect.
At the ready.
Better be cautious.
Okay, so now we'll head down the rock here.
Don't mind
More
if I do.
crafting supplies to pick up.
Wonder if the gods are watching me.
Okay, and you can head around either way. Doesn't matter. I believe that I want to have... Again, it's been a while since I've looked at... It's been a while since I've been here, so... Can't honestly remember if I'm going to find any dirt mounds down here. And we're going to wait to go through that door. Okay, we search a skeleton here. Gilded chest does not appear to be trapped. Inside, an oil of combustion, diluted oil of sharpness, and some gold. Let's reapply guidance here real quick.
No one back home will ever believe this.
Okay.
Never wanted the easy path. Anything of use?
Alright, and I don't believe there's anything else around here, but I will go looking. Yeah, there's not.
And away I go.
Okay, and now we can make our way down here to the door.
All right, time to skulk about. The element of surprise. What have we here? With ease.
Now the DCs are going to be a little higher here, but again, Astarian. Okay, and we're going to be able to enter into this section here, which appears to be possibly a little more used than some of the other areas.
Have to keep going.
Okay, and in here there's going to be a lot of camp supplies and crafting supplies that you can pick up. Okay, and you're hearing chitter chitter up here.
I do like it down here. It's nice.
Going to pick up the silver items.
This is a dedication to my goddess's power and dark beauty. Homey is not the first word that comes to mind.
Bet that'll fit in my bag. What's inside?
Okay, we'll search some wooden crates here. More crafting supplies. And more crafting supplies. Okay, and now here you can see that the chittering is being done by these rats here.
path lies before me. Very well.
Unworthy. Unworthy to walk among friendly bones. Leave! Talking of you, intruder, invader, unworthy one. These halls are not for you. Try it. A lot more guts than you'd expect. A lot more.
Okay, we're going to leave. We're not going to attack them. But this is an introduction to what was mentioned right when we walked in here about rats. So many rats. Why are there so many rats? We're going to learn more about this as we go through this section. We're going to bring Shadowheart in here.
Onward then.
And
Have a lot on my mind and, well, in it.
This is no fun at all.
Let's get on with it.
I was trying to see, I must have gotten speak with animals through a potion.
Still breathing, despite everything.
I don't see it in anybody else's spell list here.
What?
No.
Can't give up now.
Whatever comes, I'm ready.
Even the rats have the good sense to pay homage to Lady Shar.
Let's see what we have here.
Your prayers fade away. Nothing comes to you in return. No soothing presence, no spiritual embrace. Only darkness and silence. Your efforts must be inadequate. You must do more to please Shar going forward.
Okay, so I have religion proficiency here. I have advantage on this roll.
The faintest sensation of approval quickens your heart. A hard-won blessing from your mistress.
Okay, so we get Night Singer's favor out of that. So I'm resistant to necrotic damage until my next long rest.
All's well that ends not as bad as it could have.
A place of offering to the Dark Lady. May she embrace the entire world.
Okay, now again, the same DC, but I don't have nearly the bonuses. Okay, I do have one inspiration to give here, so...
A pleasurable shiver runs down your spine. You feel as if you've unburdened a troubling thought and forgotten it forever.
Okay, and again, the Night Singer's favor, and you can repeat this.
Let's be quick.
With everybody in your party.
Let's see here.
A place of offering to the Dark Lady. May she embrace the entire world.
Okay, bad roll. But I'm not going to waste any more inspirations on this. If you fail it, you fail it.
Your silent gesture vanishes into a pitiless, dark void. Your heart aches faintly with an inexplicable feeling of loss.
Why am I doing this? Wait. Easy enough.
A place of offering to the Dark Lady. May she embrace the entire world.
Okay, horrible rolls. Absolutely horrible rolls. Hey, Lord Henry, welcome. Okay, but like I said, I'm not going to use any more inspirations
silent gesture
on it. The resistance to necrotic damage is nice, but again, not 100% necessary for what we're going to be doing.
Feeling of loss.
What to do?
Okay, now, Shar Stricken is you're going to get a Hex, which causes a temporary lapse in your agility. So if you go look at what we're looking at here, you can see that it's not showing here in the list. Okay, there it is. So we have disadvantage on dexterity checks, and we're going to suffer an additional 1d6 necrotic damage from a spellcaster. So we're cursed now at this point for it, but we can remove curse, which we have here. And that will remove that from anybody who was cursed. Okay, so it's an easy way, it's an easy remedy if you don't pass that. But if you'd like to pass it, just save scum it.
Feed your bodies and rest your minds. Lady Shar needs her warriors strong and ready.
So an abandoned journal here talks about a former acolyte of Shar here. The beast still remains. Why does it not leave, and why does it sing? The food is gone. I must preserve my strength. Okay, there's a key here. Justiciar helmet. Traveler's chest with holy water in it, and some other various things that we can search in here.
Should mind my step.
And actually, I'm going to move everybody back a little bit. Okay, we have a locked set of doors here with a lever.
Seems simple enough.
Okay, and that's going to unlock the doors for us. So we have this room here. Now, this room is going to be your introduction to a very interesting mechanic. And it's an extended fight that you're going to get into, in which your ranged abilities are going to be very, very useful. Now, there's also another part of this, in that there's a door down here that's locked. You can go invisible. You can take Astarion, have him in sneak mode, and go all the way around behind everybody and go through the door. Once the door opens, you can immediately, once you interact with the door, it's going to knock you out of invisibility. You can, and when that happens, an encounter is going to start. But the people inside this room, which is Balthazar and the other people with him, are going to be brought into this fight out here. And you can, again, go invisible and make your way back out of this room, and you will leave combat. because of your invisibility. And then what will happen is this fight will play out in here. And trust me when I say that without your help, the people that are in here, including Balthazar, are going to be very, very quickly overwhelmed because they don't know how the mechanic works. So it's an easy way to clear out Balthazar without having to do anything, basically. Now, you are then going to have to come into this room and clear out the victors of that. And the mechanic makes it a little bit more difficult because you have more of a certain thing that have already spawned in. But it is certainly doable, especially with AoE spells, because a lot of those things will be grouped up. We are going to approach this the normal way, so to speak, that you would expect. But in doing so, we're still going to keep most of our party back here out of the combat for now.
On my way.
You prowl my battleground. Why? Are you friend? Foe? Thieving scavenger?
You find yourself in a dead, putrid skull, somehow hosting a tadpole amongst a squirm of maggots. Another presence lurks within, manipulating the corpse like a puppet.
Ah, a friend. An uninvited friend. I do not request help. Did she now? Enter. I will see if I have any use for you. Stinking pile of ogre aftermath! The quakes herald the shadows. They found me.
Okay, now this drops you into combat. You're going to have some friends here.
Merkel's fat lapdog.
Okay, but you can see that what's happening here is that you have Justiciar Avengers, and they have a certain amount of hit points. And you can see we're being joined by more and more friends from different directions, specifically down here this way. But you can see we also have these umbral tremors. There are 4 of them, and they have much fewer hit points. What you saw during the cutscene was that this umbral tremor spawned the Justiciar Avenger. Okay, so the mechanic here is that you want to take out the umbral tremors as fast as you can, because if you let them stay, they are going to spawn more Justiciars, and you can very quickly get overwhelmed. Now, when you kill an umbral tremor, another is going to spawn in its place, and there's a certain number of them that you have to kill before they just don't respawn anymore. So you want to be focusing on the umbral tremors, and you're going to find them spawning in various locations around the exterior and the center portion of this as you kill them. So being able to move around the map and utilize your ranged attacks, especially Astarion in this case, is going to be incredibly useful. So what I'm going to do is bring Astarion into this now, and I'm going to look at where the detection cones are covering. and see where I can and cannot move him in here. Okay, so I can move him around behind these. I would like to get Astarion over here if I can, but the detection cones are a little strange. I'm not gonna lie. So I wouldn't be surprised if Astarion gets drawn into combat in here. Okay, so let's actually position him here and see what... So he has access to this one, and this one here. So we're going to go ahead and get Astarion started here, and we're going to see how many of these umbral tremors we can take out. Okay, and that's going to bring him into combat. Okay, that took out one. Now he's got his full turn here. Don't want to move him too much farther down here. But let's see if I can reach this one. Okay, perfect. Now we'll use my Dread Ambusher on this one. Okay. See if we can kill... Outstanding. Okay, and this is what I mean by Astarion being incredibly useful here, especially on that first turn, to be able to remove a bunch of the Umbral Tremors. And now I'm going to move Jorval in here, and I'm going to try and start soaking up attacks from the Avenger here. There's not a whole lot I can do to get over to this Tremor right now. But if it spawns one, there are reconstituted enemies around here to help deal with it. So I'm going to start working on the Avenger here.
What do I have to lose?
Okay. And now let's see if we can get in a position over here where we can get a ranged attack. Okay. And now you can see the next set of tremors has spawned. And this is what I mean is that they start spawning around the exteriors here for the most part. But now combat has completely reset. Right, and this is why I wanted Astarion to be over here, is because I should be able to reach both of these tremors from here, and I can. And I'm going to move him back to that spot.
Nothing will stand in my way.
Now, this is why I kept the other two people out of combat.
Off I go. Prepare to die.
Don't see a thing from down here. On my way.
First, let me look and see if there are resistances here. So, vulnerable to radiant, which is nice for me because I have guiding bolt, which I'm actually going to use to take out this one. Okay. Okay, so now for me, I'm going to just make my way into the center here and see if I have a ranged attack. Yes, I do.
No time for mercy.
Okay, now that went extraordinarily well. And it's not going to go nearly as well if you don't have a Gloomstalker assassin in your group. The number of ranged attacks, a dual-wielding Gloomstalker assassin specifically, the number of attacks that Astarion is able to get off at the start of that meant I was able to kill all of the Umbral Terrors in the first turn, and the Justiciar. And then after that, I still had people that hadn't entered into combat yet, and I was then able to position them afterward to get the hits I needed to on the new spawn of Umbral Terrors, or Umbral Tremors. This can get very quickly out of control, and if you don't know the mechanic of if you're trying to fight the Justiciars, you're just going to get swamped. You will get swarmed every other turn by new Justiciar spawns. They have a significantly more hit points. And like I say, things can get very, very quickly out of hand. So I'm going to group everybody back up here in the middle. Okay, and we do have a Justiciar Avenger we can search. Okay, now inside here you saw this open up, and we have some ghouls that are listed as ghoul medics, and here's Balthazar, commander of the reborn dead. He also has Flesh, which is a flesh golem. So Flesh has 20 strength. He's got Berserk, so it will go Berserk when its health goes down, which means it basically goes into a rage. It gains resistance to all of the normal damage types. It has multi-attacks that will do bludgeoning damage and knock you prone. He has Immutable Form, so it's got a +5 bonus against saving throws against spells that would remove it from the plane, so Banish is not going to work very well against him. But he does also have aversion to fire. So if it takes fire damage, it has disadvantage on its attack rolls and ability checks until the end of its next turn. So that's its weakness, is fire. I would not recommend trying to fight Balthazar right now. You certainly can. However, I would not recommend it. I would recommend going through and talking to Balthazar here and finding out what he wants and continuing the kind of infiltrate Moonrise Towers quest, rather than trying to fight him and all of his undead minions, including Flesh, at this point. You're going to be able to come back here and have an interaction here and be able to deal with all of the other things that are in here at a later time, even if you don't take care of him right now. But like I say, feel free to do whatever you would like. I'm going to wander around the outside of this room real quick and just take a quick searching run. Okay, you can see there's a vault door that's locked here. we have another passageway that leads us down into this unexplored area, which we're going to be exploring very quickly.
No traps, please. Wish I had a bag of holding.
I wish I had a bag of holding too. Okay, a scroll of polymorph, which is really nice. Did those not go to Shadowheart? Okay. And why did that chalice? Okay. So now we'll go in here and we will have a conversation with Balthazar. And remember, this is part of the quest here. We need to find the missing Balthazar.
A good one, not the one.
You dog! Come closer.
Not just any true soul would have succeeded in following my path through this place. You should be pleased. General Thorn. Rubbish. Everything is at hand here. Zorel merely envies the General's faith in me. I am in the midst of a grand strategy. But you're here now, and I may be able to put those limbs to work. You know what's at stake here. I take it.
Thought eludes you. Perhaps you saw a passing reference in some old tome.
General Thorn to you. But yes, recovering the relic is the crux of it. He commands, and I, his humble servant, fulfill that command. While you, an infinitely more humble servant, fulfill my command. I will put you to work as a scout.
Oh, there it is, chat. There it is. The first double one of this playthrough. We are definitely going to use an inspiration against that because I can't let that stand.
Spare me your bleating. The relic lends the General his strength, his invulnerability. It must be recovered before his enemies attempt to exploit it. I do not need you or your help, but you are here in spite of that, so I may as well make use of you. The relic is close, but the way is barred and Shar's dead are uncooperative. Clear the path for me by blade, cunning, or whatever it takes. I will remain here until you have succeeded. Or fallen.
I'd trust this gas bag about as far as I can throw him, which isn't far. But perhaps better to play along for now. Okay, so the persuasion check here can actually be very interesting.
and you will probably want to try this. Has there been a past stream with this many ones? I don't think so. I think that's 5 or so that we've rolled this time. And double nat ones in all of my playthroughs, which there are 4 of them. I've only encountered double nat ones one time in one of my personal playthroughs. This is only the second time that's happened, so I guess it was probably bound to happen at some point, but yes, today we are hopefully getting a bunch of these out of the way so that future things can go easier for us. But we're definitely going to go through the persuasion check here. So again, a little bit higher DC, but we do have some bonuses here on our side. Wow. It's just a bad day for rolls, chat.
Fine. I will assign flesh to aid you on your way. Ring this bell, and he will come. My brother is no intellectual powerhouse, but he is strong, loyal, and punctual. Should a fight turn against you, remember the bell. Flesh will remain here until called. But don't fear, he has very sharp hearing. I chose his ears myself. Now, get to work.
Okay, so we received the bell that's going to allow us to summon flesh. And we are going to do that for a couple of reasons. One, because if you summon him and he dies, it removes him from future encounters that you might have to deal with him in. So we are definitely, and 2, it can also help you out quite a bit. There's a lot of hit points there. He can do a lot of damage. However, the fight that we're going to summon him in, he's probably not going to survive. And that's going to be an intentional choice on our part, because we want to remove him from future encounters. Okay, now the rest of this room, including the vault door, we're going to be able to come back and deal with at another time. So here you can see we have a couple of different ways to go. So the quest markers leading us over here to find a path to the relic, which is going to lead us back into some more exploration of the Gauntlet of Shar. So that's the way that we are going to go, is head down this way here. And I really do. This is one of my favorite parts of the game, is the gauntlet. I really like how it looks. I like how good a job Larian did on the layout here and how things, you know, kind of play together. And now we have more rats down here.
We outnumber you. Leave me be.
Okay, so we're going to leave them be. We did also unlock the waypoint for the Gauntlet of Shar, so we now have an easy way back here, which is good, because we are going to need to come back. Now this way down here, I'm going to leave this until the end. This is what I consider to be the true Gauntlet of Shar. These are the trials that you're going to have to go through. And we definitely will want to do that. Well, we will have to do that, but we want to explore this a little bit later after we've dealt with the other things that we want to do here. So Balthazar is hunting for the source of Kethric's vulnerability, and Balthazar is down here trying to retrieve the Night Song. However, we also have something else that we are doing down here, and that does deal with Raphael's old enemy is down here, and you can see we have a Kill the Orthon quest marker that we're going to be getting to a little bit as we explore through this. So we're going to leave this passage for now. We're going to head up this way. Kind of explore our way up.
My faith protects me. I'll go this way.
Okay, we have a gilded chest around the back. And this has Least Expected in it. Least Expected is another one of those shadow-based or darkness-based weapons. While obscured in shadow, the wielder has 1d4 bonus to their ranged weapon attacks. So you're going to get a 1d4 bonus to your attack rolls on it. It's a +2 short bow. However, it also has a proficiency unlock here, which is blinding shot. So once per short rest, you can possibly blind your target. This can be useful if you've split your party and are attacking from multiple directions with one group in shadow and maybe somebody else not. This can then be used to blind somebody who is not inside that darkness, to keep them from being able to effectively attack your party members who are not in it. So I do need these thieves' tools for Astarion, and for Least Expected, it's a good question. I've got the hunting short bow. Probably best just to change this out here. That would give her a straight bonus to her ranged attacks. I don't know.
Salutations.
Okay, so Gale does have proficiency with short bows. So he's going to take a bit of a damage hit there, but now he's going to have advantage against monstrosity type enemies. So his spells with attack rolls are going to have advantage against those type of enemies as well.
All right. What now?
Can't afford to stay idle. Onward.
Okay, and now we get to another crossroads here, and we see we have an ancient altar here that's going to lead us down to something else. Again, we're going to hold off on this for now, and we have a couple of different paths that we can take here, and I'm going to explore here first. Okay, you're going to get an autosave here.
Might as well take a look.
And on the other side of this door, you see, this is where we came in. Okay? Now, I still don't know why. I could swear.
Better take a look.
Okay. It's just not allowing me to interact with this. Okay, I'm gonna have to probably look at that afterwards.
No one stopped me yet. These boots have seen everything.
And see if there's an issue with that. Because I believe that's where you're supposed to pick up your first Umbral gem.
Let's have a look.
And I do not have one. Yeah, I do not have one. So, like I say, I'm gonna have to look at that and see. Where am I in short rest? I need to take one to get my Divine Smites back.
That hit the spot.
Okay, now here you can see what's down here. We have a Displacer Beast that's walking around. Okay, when you get close, it's going to run off. And down into this room down here. Okay, so over here, we just have another chasm. Then you have a possibility of being able to make your way up here. You can jump across this here and make your way up here onto this top level into this area. Now, doing that is going to make the encounter in this area guaranteed to be hostile. You are not going to be able to have a conversation. You will just immediately be dropped into a fight down here. Okay, so if you want to, it's an interesting place with a choke point in it. However, there's a much better and easier way to deal with this. And what I'm going to do is take the bell. I'm going to give it to Astarion. And I'm not going to go up there yet. I'm going to make my way down here. Okay, and the Displacer Beast again ran off and went this way. Okay, there's a bunch of other stuff that you can pick up down here.
Need to keep going. Worth grabbing.
Chambers of Penance.
And we're going to continue on this way first. Now, going here, you can see we have a couple of different ways that we can go. We can actually make our way down here and around and down into this bottom part. Or we can make our way over here and we can jump across to this side. And this is actually where we're going to go.
Let's get going. I have to keep going.
What's next? Better take that.
Shouldn't have wished to live in more interesting times. Light on my feet.
We have some piles of bones that we can search around here. Well, normally you can. You won't find a whole lot in these.
time to rest.
Okay, and again, nowhere to go over here on this side, just a chasm. And up here we have spider meat in the center here.
Well-chewed spider carcass oozes on the ground.
I'm actually going to leave.
Elminster's not around, so
I'm going to do something first.
On it.
Well-chewed spider carcass oozes on the ground. A cavalcade of nasty smells rises from the corpse, but one of them is familiar. The prickling, metallic whiff of magic.
Okay, I have an investigation option here, and Gale has proficiency in that.
Fresh bite marks, an old puncture wound, and a faint pulse of something not entirely natural.
Okay, so I have an Arcana check I can make with advantage. This is a little bit higher DC now.
The meat is oozing, but not with blood. It's been dosed with a potion. Sulfur, decay, and a thin whiff of something unexpectedly fragrant. The meat tastes of rot and sour milk. Your stomach lurches, but your loins tingle. Was that arousal?
Rotten meat. That's what gets you going. Well, to each their own.
In amongst the rot is an unmistakable sweetness. Succubus spittle. The meat is charmed.
Okay, so that lets you know that the meat has been charmed. It's been dosed with a potion, and you also learn that it's got fresh bite marks on it. It's been chewed. So whatever's been chewing on it
Never a dull moment.
has been charmed
Wonder if the gods
by
are watching.
whoever put the potion on that.
Keep a blade close.
And I actually haven't done this part this way first. Okay. So the Boots of Brilliance are in here, and this is a set of boots that restores a bardic inspiration. So it's going to restore one of your bardic inspiration slots. You can do it once per long rest as an action. So a great way, especially if you're a swords bard, to be able to get back your inspirations if you need them. Okay, so I'm going to take all of this, and now you can see... Ah! Doggone it. I was hoping that wasn't going to happen when I did that, when I clicked that. So I wasn't entirely sure if that was going to happen or not when I did it. I was hoping that I was going to be able to avoid that by being in hiding, but as soon as I popped out of hiding, it caused a problem. And I wasn't entirely sure how that was going to play out. I didn't play the multiple scenarios along with this in my personal playthrough. So we're going to have this fight here, and that doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing to have it here. We are just going to have to make some movement here to get where we want to be. Now, what's here is a few things. First, Yurgir is up here. Yurgir is not there. Yurgir is probably not visible right now. If I had to guess, no, he's not. Yurgir is the Orthon that you are looking for. He's a level 10 fiend. He has Devil Sight, which means he can see in darkness. So darkness isn't going to be much of a benefit to keep you safe from melee attacks and that sort of stuff. He has an advantage on saving throws against all spells, and he's immune to fire and poison. He's resistant to cold, but he doesn't have any other resistances, and right now he's invisible for 2 turns. That's going to be a favorite thing of his, is to remain invisible. Now the Maragons, we've seen those before. However, they all are wearing the Maragon masks, which is giving them Devil Sight, but also remember the Devil Foil masks, when there are multiple people wearing the Maragon masks, they're getting +1s to their ability scores, their martial ability scores, and minuses to their spell casting ability scores. Okay, so as they get grouped up, they gain more melee bonuses, but they lose more spell casting bonuses, so they're more susceptible to spell attacks. Again, they all have Devil Sight. That does not mean that darkness is not usable, because if the Maragons can't reach you physically to get within melee range, they're going to resort to melee attacks, and if you have darkness surrounding you, you're not going to be able to be hit by those melee attacks. So what we want to do is kind of forego the first parts of our turns here and try and make our way back over here a little bit. And the reason for it is we want the Maragons are going to all move toward this side and try and get ranged attacks on us for the most part. There will be a few of them that will try and make their way around this upper section and come down here to get into melee range. But for the most part, they won't. They will stay up here. So what I want to do is kind of create an area where I am safe from their ranged attacks, but can still do ranged damage against them. And I guess being down here is just as good as any. But we do want to get rid of the Displacer Beast. Now, after the interaction with the spider, the Displacer Beast is going to move out here, and you're going to have an opportunity to speak with it if you have Speak with Animals, and you can convince the Displacer Beast that it has been charmed. And in that case, the Displacer Beast will become an ally in this fight. So after you go out here into the center, and it triggers a conversation with Yurgir, who is standing up here, the Displacer Beast will be an ally during this confrontation. Okay, so that's what passing all of those checks and everything on the spider meat is about, is you learn that the Displacer Beast is under the charm spell right now. So we definitely want to take it out. The Displacer Beast has dark vision, but it does not have Devil Sight. So darkness is going to work against it. So the first thing that we want to do here, however, is get... How far away is it? 16 meters, and again, these things are probably still broken. Yes, they are. I'm trying to think how I want to deal with the reactions here. Okay, so yeah, I think we're going to... Because Gale is going to be able to act next after this. So I think we're just going to stand our ground here. And get in ranged attacks for now.
Go.
Okay. We'll move him back and wait for the Displacer Beast to get its attack here. Okay, not too worried about illusory copy. Okay, now Gale is going to immediately cast darkness on this entire group. And I might as well try and make an offhand attack against the Displacer Beast and kill it. Okay. Now what that's going to do is the Maragons are going to be dashing towards me because they want to make a ranged attack against me. Okay, so Shadowheart should have a fairly decent attack against the Displacer Beast. Perfect. And that removes the illusory copy of the Displacer Beast as well. And I would love nothing better than for Yurgir to come down here. But for now, I want all of these Maragons grouped up right here at the edge of this. I want to make sure I'm not moving. And then I'll move back into the darkness.
Sometimes the only way out is through.
Okay, Gale's going to be a little tricky here because he's farther back.
Pawn to Cleric 4.
Let's see if he's within range here. And I want all of them to come towards me and be all grouped up. This is exactly what I'm looking for.
Heading there.
And I'm just going to wait for them to all get grouped up. I'm not going to do anything up there other than just basic ranged attacks until they are all together in a group. So I'm going to have to wait one more turn. There's Yurgir. They used a crossbow shot on me. Oh, yeah. Okay, that's right. Well, wait a minute. I shouldn't need it, because even with Devil Sight, they can't make ranged attacks into it. I didn't think. Okay, so I guess they can. That's interesting.
Yes, here.
Whoops. Okay, so I'm going to... Come on. I'm going to do this now. They're not grouped up. There's still two of them that are not in this, but I'm going to drop it now. I might be able to get all of them. Looks like I can. Okay. And that's gonna hurt.
Battle of wits.
Okay, so I'm gonna drop a glyph of warding. Old. Up here, and that's going to cause him to have to move to do this. I would prefer not to have him do that. I'll move him on this turn. %, missed. So I'm going to move here. I'm going to remember that and move him out front for his movement next turn. Okay, and this is what normally happens, is they don't make any ranged attacks against you, and they just sit there and take damage inside the Hunger of Hadar. Okay, now with my... Now, I think I'm going to still leave that out.
Tide's gotten stale, little rabbit. Stop embarrassing yourself. Let me end this.
Okay. So let's work with our Paladin first here. Because Yurgir is making his way down through here towards me. For the star, and I want to move him out over here. Where's my mark? Here. Okay, I'm going to reapply Hunter's mark. Now with Gale, I'm going to move him out the front of this and see if I can drop Glyph of Warding up here now, and I can.
Oh, yes.
I'm going to add Destructive Wrath to this. Oh, that was lightning, not cold. I picked the wrong one. But this is going to add it on 5 targets. I'm going to add Destructive Wrath to do maximum damage on this. Okay, and you can see all of the damage that it did to all of them. I wanted that to be cold instead. But now the question is going to be is, can I get Gale? I can't get him back fully in here. And I'm not going to want him out there when Yurgir arrives. So I think I'm going to Misty Step him back here. I think Yurgir is going to be arriving here on the next turn. I don't want him going after Gale.
Have to keep going.
Okay, he doesn't appear to be moving as much, which is good for us.
Is worth the cost.
For this, I'm going to go back to the cantrips.
Got to press on.
Okay. Will you guys quit searching and just move past it? Thank you. Oh, so Yurgir's moved up there too. Oh, no, he's not. He's down here below. Okay, so now that Yurgir is down here, we're going to start focusing him with this round. Okay, so this is something that we noticed earlier in our encounter at the docks. The hungers, the globe-shaped AoE spells do not seem to work correctly vertically. They work correctly horizontally, but not necessarily vertically. When we're on the docks, that adept cast the Hunger of Hadar above us, and it wasn't touching us, but we were still getting the effects. You can see the same thing here. Yurgir is well underneath the Hunger of Hadar. It's well above him up there, but he's taking damage from it. So that's kind of... I'm positive that that's unintended and shouldn't be there. But again, something we'll take advantage of in this case, just like the Adept took advantage of it with us. Hey, Sublight, welcome to the stream. I appreciate you being here. So we'll go ahead and start off with the attacks here against Yurgir. Okay, we're going to add the sneak attack critical to that. We're going to add in Luck of the Far Realms on this one.
No choice but to keep going.
Okay, so I'm not going to move out of there to run up and attack him. I couldn't get up next to him. Oh, I guess I could. Well, I can probably end this here if I do this, and my armor class is high enough I can probably avoid anything from up above. So let's head out there and see if we can just end Yurgir here after all the damage that Astarion did. I mean, he did 60 damage to him. You can see the crits that he inflicted here were incredibly damaging to Yurgir. So let's go see if we can just finish this off here.
Another day, another fight.
Okay, and now we will move back out of the hunger. Good, we were able to reach, or move back out of it. I don't think we can get ranged attacks. Oh, we can. Look at that.
I don't fancy their chances.
Looks like the path is interrupted. Gale rolls a crit with his short bow.
Ready. On the move.
Okay, and the position he's at is just not good for us right now, so we'll just wait. And that ends that.
What brought the Orthon to a place like this? We'll never find out now.
No rest for the wicked, I see.
Looking ahead.
Okay, so in this this fight going on in honor mode is fairly similar in how it works. Choosing a position where you are on the opposite side of the ramp, which leads up, which is over here, that leads up and around the top. If you would choose a place to start this combat on the opposite side from that ramp, the Maragons are not going to path towards you, or toward the ramp. they are going to path towards you, and that means you can group them up and use damaging AoE spells up here while you are just not being targeted by their spells. And that gives you time to deal with them and then deal with Yurgir either afterward or like we did here during that combat. So searching Yurgir, we're going to get the Hellfire Hand crossbow. And this has the possibility of inflicting burning when hitting a creature with this weapon while hiding or invisible. This is the companion crossbow that you want to give to Astarion if you are going with a dual-handed or dual-wielding hand crossbow build. We also pick up some infernal metal, which we don't really have a whole lot of use for anymore. But looking at Astarion, right now he's using the Nair Misser, which is good. It does force damage. But he's also using the Firestoker, which deals an additional 1d4 piercing damage to burning targets. That's important because the Hellfire Hand crossbow has the possibility to inflict burning when you hit a creature when you're hiding. So we're going to swap that out. It's a straight upgrade as far as the damage goes. I'm now at a +2 weapon enchantment instead of +1. I'm also going to get the ability to cast Scorching Ray with Astarion as opposed to Magic Missile. And now I have the possibility on that first round especially where I'm hiding and I make an attack with it to possibly set somebody on fire and then gain a straight damage bonus on my offhand attack to help boost that secondary set of damage as well. Okay. So this is where you pick up that thing that we've been waiting for to use with the Firestoker for a long time.
What the hell's just been happening here?
So I did want to try to illustrate, like I say, the whole conversation with the Displacer Beast. Just ran into problem of I shouldn't have looted that chest first. I should have gone over and had the conversation with him first. But again, if you do it, you can convince him to join your side during that fight. Okay, so we'll head up top and we'll search all the Maragons. Now, there is a Maragon up here that is different from the rest. And this is what I mean if you jump across here, you end up on top here. However, all of the Maragons are going to path towards you to attack you here. And since you can't plug this hole up with darkness, you can still use Hunger of Hadar, but they move through it in one turn. So they're only going to take 2 turns worth of damage right when they enter it and then at the start of their next turn. So it gets really hard to trap them up here in a way that benefits you. It's much better to attack them from down low and take advantage of their pathing quirk. The other thing about Yurgir is that if he is below 50% hit points at the start of his turn, he's going to drop a bunch of Orthon explosives on the ground around him. Now, we've seen Orthon explosives before, so they do 3d6 fire damage, and they create a fire surface that's going to do that for 3 turns. So he will drop a bunch of those on the ground around him, like grenades, and you will have to walk out of the area to avoid that. So if you're able to take him out in one turn, you can avoid all of that. And again, we have some more rats that are up here. Not a big deal for us. And now we can search the Maragons, and they're all going to have a halberd. However, there's one that I said was different from the rest. There's a hoarding Maragon here. There are multiple ways that you can play out the encounter with Yurgir here. You can enter into conversation with him. You can convince him to have his Maragons kill each other off. You can convince him to kill the Displacer Beast. And you can convince him that he's been betrayed. And then later on, in a different encounter, you will be able to have him be on your side. Now, that encounter is much later on, in Act 3, but it's an ability to have a pretty healthy damage pool of ally on your side during that fight. I was going to actually not do that. I was still always going to fight him here, but I was going to try and convince the Displacer Beast to be on my side, and I was going to convince him to kill his Maragons so that it would just be the Displacer Beast, me, my group, and him in a straight up fight. I just, like I say, wasn't able to do that. Okay. So the last thing is this hoarding Maragon here. Now, if you've taken the conversation and you've not convinced him to kill his Maragons, and you've convinced him that he's been betrayed, then this Maragon is going to be able to be a trader, and you're going to be able to trade with them for some goods. However, you're going to be able to get some of those goods here as well. So we're going to pick up a couple of nice scrolls, especially the Scroll of Sunbeam. And another Elixir of Psychic Resistance, which is always really, really good. And you can, if you'd like, sit on the throne. Doesn't do anything, but you can sit on it if you'd like. And now we're going to make our way back down to the bottom. We're going to start making our way down here. Okay, now we have a couple of different ways that you can see we can go through. Oh, there's something else we need to get in here. Almost forgot.
Moving in.
It's back here at the back. And it's sitting on the ground. And that's the Umbral Gem here.
Maybe I need more pockets.
Actually, I'm going to have Shadowheart carry all these.
Might as well.
All right. What now?
A bed made of corpses. Disgusting. And uncomfortable.
Breathe deep.
Hey, you do not want to forget to pick up the Umbral Gem. You are going to need it. Okay, so you can see we have kind of a passage this way, and we have a passage this way that maybe we can jump up to and kind of look around in. So if you look around the corner here, there might be something else down here that we want to go look at. So let's go take a look to the left here. Going to split my group. Because I do want to check and see something. Yeah, definitely too high for me to get up there. Okay, and it's just a little bit too far here.
Well, hello.
But I do have Astarion here, who's able to cast Enhance Leap as a ritual.
I have a lot on my mind and, well, in it.
Okay, and here we have a mirror that we can interact with.
The mirrors here seem to not reflect light, but devour it.
Okay, and it turns out that we just have a candle down here.
Should mind my step.
Okay, but we do have this door over here. And you can see the other side of this door. Okay, so in here we want to have...
There's no time to waste. Have to keep pushing.
How delicious.
Let's get on with it. This way.
Okay, we have a plaque here.
Chamber of Command.
This mirror, it's so familiar. I've stood before one like it before, felt its magic. What did it do?
Okay, so Shadowheart's having a memory here about the Mirror of Loss.
The mirror is shattered and beyond any use.
Okay, so this Mirror of Loss is broken. This is going to give you a hint about something that's going to be encountered in Act 3. You're going to encounter another Mirror of Loss, and that mirror is going to be active. And you will learn more about Shadowheart, and she said she stood before this mirror and felt its magic. What did it do? You're going to learn more about what it does when you encounter an active one in Act 3. Okay, but this one is not able to be used. Here, there's nothing you can do with it. There is a silver key that we want to pick up.
Something over there.
In darkness, truth. In shadows, justice. In the Dark Lady's name. Always.
Okay, so again, in darkness, truth.
might be useful. Just check for anything useful.
Okay, so failed that perception check.
You need to pick me up.
Blood? No, never mind. How much farther can I go?
Okay, so failed that one.
Don't touch me.
One with the weave. Adventure awaits.
My faith protects me.
Hey, this is a DC 20
Charmed, I'm sure.
perception check, so our chances are fairly low to begin with. Okay.
That might be worth it.
So I found a loose tile here with some gold under it, and that's it. So don't think you're missing out on
What's
a whole
next,
lot there.
I must keep going.
Okay, and up here on the desk you have the reflections upon the Mirror of Loss. Okay, so it talks a little bit about it. You learn that somebody who was trying to delve into the Shadowfell in the time of his folly before his master Karsus. You're going to learn a lot more about Karsus later on. You're also learning about the fall of Netheril, which ties in with Gale's storyline and the floating cities. And what is certain is that many of the Night Singer's faithful claim to feel some echo of her power and majesty of it, even though it's shattered. They feel lesser once they step away from the mirror, hence the name it has commonly become to be known by. So you're going to learn, like I say, much more learn about the Mirror of Loss and what it has to do with feeling lesser. And I'm trying not to give any spoilers here for this. But no, thank you for being here, Ustamura. No worries. Have a good night. So you're going to learn more about what this feeling lesser means when you get to the active Mirror of Loss in Act 3. Okay? So nothing else that you're going to be able to learn in here from what I'm aware of.
In darkness, truth. In shadows, justice. In the Dark Lady's name. Always.
Okay, but this Mirror of Loss is broken. But like I say, you will
serves no purpose.
You will encounter one that is not
Like a
broken
dizzying kaleidoscope.
later on in the playthrough. So what we're going to do is just move ourselves back over to the other side. And to do that, we're going to take Astarion, move him back over here, so he can cast Enhanced Leap on everybody else.
These things have stayed interesting.
Okay, and we are going to be getting ready to move down here. But for now, I just want to get everybody moved over here. And we're going to end the stream at that point.
Direct me.
Trust no one.
My faith will guide me.
Okay, and last one. Okay. And that gets us to a good spot to end the live stream today. So from here, we are going to quickly explore what's here, just so you can see where this goes and what it does. But the main way that we're going to be exploring is down here and around this way, and then again down into the base of this statue for a very important encounter. So that will be what we do next week on Sunday at this same time. Just as a reminder, the Starfield playthrough is on Wednesday evening, and the Bard playthrough will be next Saturday. So I hope to see you all there, and you can see the times for those in the About tab on the channel. So again, as always, I'd like to thank everybody for being here. Without your support, none of this would be possible. This is Commander Jorval saying until next time, fare thee well.